How's it going, folks? I'm not going to be able to post the video I wanted to this week, looking at the plans we have for the patch. Things just got a little bit out of hand here with a couple of medical air runs for my father and a few other bits and pieces. So what I'll do is I'll flip the camera around and give you a bit of a look at some of the small jobs I've done, and then give you a bit of a heads up on the timeline for the earthworks around the place. So I just start up here at the aquaponics and the eggplant. As you can see, she got a little bit out of hand, and I have a feeling that the fruit in there is encouraging rodents into the system. Haven't seen any scat, but there's definitely a couple of nice big munch marks on a couple of these eggplants. So I decided to give her a bit of a trim back, and we've still got a decent harvest from her. And as you can see, she is a lot more compact than she was. She'll bounce back in no time at all. We do have a couple of small flowers on there. And around the corner here, give you a bit of a look. The kangkong is reluctantly bouncing back slowly, and I have a sweet potato. It's just a potato stuck down in the media bed, just trying to grow some slips, see if we can get ourselves a winter crop of sweet potatoes in the patch. Over here we had the first harvest from the Amarillo chilies. So I've taken off 3 already. 2 went to a mate of ours who's helped us out a bit, and another one we've kept for use here, and I do have another one up there that I could pick, but I'll show you what they're like on the plants down the back. It's just under this little shade house here. We have a couple of root pouches just sitting in trays on the ground there, some up the back, and the dear old water chestnuts. And over the back here we have some Amarillos that I bagged up because of the fruit fly. Got a couple in there, more than a couple actually, and we have 2, maybe one that is definitely ripe, and over here we have a couple in bags that look to be ripe, and a couple that I didn't have enough bags for that are pretty much all almost ready to pick as well. For some reason the fruit flies didn't hit these guys, they only hit the ones in the aquaponics, so I don't know if that's got to do with the way they're being grown, but I'm pretty chuffed with the amount that we've got that are ripening up. I think I might try a sauce with them as a way to preserve them so we can use them through winter, because chilies are one plant that does die back here through winter. I'll just show you down here. The galangal still going great guns in the original wicking container we started it off in, and we're just using this area down here as a bit of storage for the time being. And I still haven't done the garlic. This week I've been pretty much all trying to move bits and pieces around so we can get the earth moving equipment down the back there. So today I got to moving a couple of beds of soil. They're just old wicking barrels or beds, and that one there is actually soil from the old veggie pods. So this one here was a very heavy soil. It's actually from one of the beds out the front. There's no clay in it, but what it is the bed was made up with probably 50% mushroom compost, and then I added in a load of horse manure, well-aged horse manure as well, and a little bit of soil. It was towards the end of setting up the original beds out the front, so it's just jam-packed full of organic matter and very clumpy and gloopy, so I added some perlite in there to help loosen it up. And these aren't finished wicking beds, by the way. There's just moving the soil out of the way for the earth moving equipment, but once they are used in a wicking bed situation, I'll break it up with some more organic matter. I've got a couple of bales of peat that I purchased ages ago, and also compost and other things, and it'll loosen this up nicely. As a comparison, this is the stuff from the veggie pods, and that's nice and friable. So a lot of that will have to do with the amount of perlite in there, but also there's more organic matter in there as it was a potting mix. Just back out around here, this turmeric is going to have to come out the whole bed because the earth moving equipment needs to get out through here. I was going to move the compost, but I'm going to leave it now. It can stay because removing this bed will give more than enough room, access for their small little earth mover to come out the back here, and start a fence, colour bond fence down there, and then a retaining wall will probably start around there and run all the way to the back corner, and a nice big colour bond fence along there. And the other thing I'm doing at the moment, or I started to do this afternoon, is getting ready to sever all the roots for these big guys here, just to make it easier for the guys with their earth moving equipment. They can just snap off the last few remaining roots. So I'm getting down there with the reciprocating saw, trying to cut them off. Be great if I could remove them all by myself, but we'll have to wait and see. And just to give you a bit of a look, it grew all around the fence. So the fence is in there. Some of these other plants have done the same thing. You might be able to see some down in there. It's cut all the way through there. So they're going, the fence wire will have to be cut, but I don't think Tina and Mike will be a bit too worried about that, because they're going to have a nice fence here to replace it. But we're looking at salvaging as much of this gal pole work as we can, because I have a use for it later on. So, and this is the last tree that needs to be taken out. I'm fairly sure they could remove a couple of them with their earth mover, but we have 1, 2, 3, and that large one down the back, 4 that I need to take out. So yeah, fun and games. I'll try and do as much as I can by hand. And just to give you a bit of a look down here, we do have some mycelia growing through all this wood mulch. This came from a tree that my parents knocked down in their front yard. We'll have a bit of a dig through and see if we can see any mycelia here. Oh, there's a few little wispy bits of white right down in there. Would be nice to get a nice crop of oyster mushrooms off of this big pile, but I'm not holding my breath. This pile here, by the way, will be used just to finish off the soil out to the retaining wall there, and plus we need to buy loads more in. But if we start to get some oyster mushroom fruiting bodies in there, we might leave this as a mushroom farm and then buy some MRWS mulch in to cover the soil over there. So just to run through why we haven't got a lot of beds planted out at the moment. That one over there's got nematodes in it. It needs to be planted out with mustard greens, or I might use it as soil fill for down the back there later on. But these beds here, what I want are 5 IBCs all along here, and then use tin and timber to make up a nice surround for them. I'm not sure whether I will link all the beds together so they're a single wicking unit. We'll wait and see. But one of the reasons why I haven't set them up as of yet is there is a slope down here, and if I want to join them all together, I would like them to be all on a nice flat level surface. So that's one of the reasons why we're sort of waiting for the retaining wall to go in. Even after the retaining wall goes in, we don't have enough clean fill here to level out the place, so we'll have to get some in. But yeah, these beds are going to have to be put on hold until we just know how far the soil will be coming up on this side. But as for these beds down here, they are still being productive with the chives and the green onions, and definitely needs to be topped up a bit, as you can see from the amount of soil that's fallen. And this bed over here, we've got basil that we're taking out, more for cooked dishes because it's a pretty pungent one, that one. And we've also got the carrots in there. The carrots are pretty much all cleaned out. We've just got 2 that have gone to flower there, and that's it. I think I popped in a black turmeric in there, but I do have some snap peas that need to go out in there. I just need to chop that basil back a bit. It's an all year basil, so it'll perennial, it'll grow through winter here. Actually thinking I might take it out and put it in a pouch so we've got some more bed space. We'll wait and see. But yeah, not really a lot going on down the back here, well, planning wise, but there's a lot of work that I need to get to. So this is the harvest of the eggplants from the aquaponics, more than we know what to do with. So we'll have a couple of these slit open and pan fried with tonight's dinner. But yeah, I wish we knew more people who ate them so we could give them away. Down here we have some bunching onions that a mate gave us. Thank you very much, Mark. Actually forgot about these guys and remembered them as I was filling up those beds down the back today. So I decided to pull them all. There were a couple of small ones that had just started to sucker off. So I planted them out somewhere else and hopefully they'll take off. So I've got a fair few onions, enough for a week I'd say. And a couple of kaffir limes, just from the kaffir lime tree. We use the leaves in a lot of Thai and Indo cooking. So these guys won't go to waste. Bianca likes to zest them and then freeze it. So yeah, they'll be processed and popped into the freezer for use later. I will be continuing to work on the other clip that's looking at the layout of the property. I just really want to hook into those trees and get rid of them before the landscaper gives us a final day on when he's going to start. He said it's not going to be next week, it'll probably be the week after that at the earliest, so I've got a fair bit I need to do. There's a couple of asparagus beds out the front I need to move, there's a turmeric bed there, and we also need to do a couple of dump runs and fix up some other bits and pieces around the place before they can start. So yeah, I'm going to be a little bit busy at least for another week, but I will definitely get something up to do with the plans we have for the patch by next weekend. So there you go. I do hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a quick catch up, and thanks again to all you folks who do pop along every week, really do appreciate it, and also you folks who are supporting us through the YouTube membership program and also Farming Your Own Yard. Thank you very much, folks. But But I'm going to leave it there. I think the battery's pretty much all recharged and I'm going to hook back into that stump. So take it easy folks, and I'll catch you next video.